Hey guys, welcome back to Maxim Automation. In this XPath tutorial series, we'll see that how can we create XPath for different web elements available on the web page. XPath is basically the XML path which we use to identify or navigate nodes in an XML document. So today we'll see that how to create a basic XPath for a web element. Let's say that I have this website with me and there are multiple web elements available. And among those elements, I have to select this one. So before writing the XPath for this web element, let's first write a code to navigate to this web page. Let's add a test method over here. And inside that method, I'm writing the code to create a web-driver object using Chrome driver. And then we'll navigate to the web page using driver.navigate.to method. Let's add the code to maximize the browser window. Now, this piece of code will bring us to this web page. And now I want to click on this web element. And for the click operation, first I need to find the XPath for this web element. To create XPath of an object, I'm going to use developer tool in Chrome browser. You can use other tools as well, like Firebug. To use developer tool, you can go to the more tool option and then can select the developer tool option. Or you can also press the F12 as a shortcut key for the same. Once you open the dev tool, then you can see the whole XML document in the Elements tab. Now here you can see the inspect icon to identify the web element in XML document. Click on this inspect icon and then click on the element for which you want to create an XPath. So the moment you click on the element, the same will be highlighted in the XML. Now to create the XPath, first we will see that which type of object this web element is. We can see over here that this is a link or anchor object as it is created with anchor tag. And then we need to see that if there is any unique properties assigned to this object. As we can see that there is no unique property associated with this object, which is hardly going to change in future. So now we'll see one level above to this object. And we can see that we have this div object over here with attribute ID, which must be unique in this web page. And we can use this object to create XPath for our web element, which don't have any unique property. Now to create the XPath, press Ctrl F to get the search box. This will help us to identify that whether the XPath which we have created is correct or not. So we'll start our XPath with this div tag, and then we'll traverse to our required object. You can see that I have given the // over here. It signifies that we are going to create a relative XPath. In case you want to create an absolute path, then we can use the single slash for that. To create the absolute path, you can start with the root node. Like you can type the first node, which is a HTML tag. After that, it followed by the head tag, and so on. Creating absolute path is never recommended, because let's say if there is any change in the path, which is generally happens, then your XPath will get failed. Now to create the relative path, we'll directly navigate to the div tag in the XML document and see that we are getting 783 results returned for the div tag in the web page. Now to get our div tag, we'll have to use the attribute also to identify our div tag uniquely. As we know that our div tag contains the unique ID, so we'll use the same. And to use it, we have to open a bracket and then type @ID. @ symbol signifies that we are going to use the attribute value of the object, and then type the attribute name, which is ID in this case. You can use any other attributes as well, like name, if they are associated with the object. Currently, we have only 2 attributes associated with this div object. If you want to use another attribute like class, then you can mention the attribute name as class. But make sure that whatever attribute you are using, that should be unique enough to identify your web element. So we are going to use ID in this case, and then copy the value of ID, and then provide it against the ID attribute in our XPath. Now our XPath is going to find the element which is created with div tag and whose ID is equal to this, and then close the bracket. You can see that it successfully highlighted the div object which we wanted to identify. You can also see that it returns only one result with this XPath, which means that the XPath which we have created is uniquely identifying the object. So we are done with identifying the div tag. Now the next thing is to identify our original web element on which we want to perform click operation. As our web element is an anchor object, so we can type / and then the tag name. Again, here you can use double or single slash based on for creating the absolute or relative path. Here you can see that it returned 29 results, which means this XPath is not enough to uniquely identify our web element. So again, we're going to filter the results by using unique properties. As we don't have any unique attribute associated with this element, so I'm going to use the text value of this link to identify it uniquely. To verify the text of an element, we can use the contains method, which takes two arguments, actual and expected value. Here to get the actual value, we can use another method, text, in the argument. This method returns the actual value of the object in the web page, and then pass the expected value in the second argument. And in this case, expected value is bestsellers. Then close the contains function and then close the bracket. You can see that it highlighted the desired web element on the web page. And also you can see that it returned only one result. Now, instead of contains, you can compare the exact value of text by using text equals to bestsellers. So this expression is going to match the exact text on the web page. Let's say that if you have mentioned the expected text as bestseller only, then this expression is not going to find your web element, because text method will return the bestsellers, which is not going to match since we have deleted the extra s from our expected text. If I use contains over here, then you can see that now it successfully finds the element. So based on your requirement, you can use the exact text or contains text to identify the object. Now we have created our XPath to identify the object on the web page. So let's use this XPath in our code to perform the click operation. First of all, let's create an object of web element and then use driver.findElement method to get the web element from the web page. To find the web element, we can use different locator as listed over here. For now, we'll select XPath as we have created our XPath to identify the element. Then paste the XPath created in the argument. After that, type element.click method to perform click operation. Now let's run the test to see if it successfully performed the click operation on the web element. Here the execution has been started, and you can see that it clicked on the bestsellers link. So here we have find the element using the find element method, which expect and return only one element from the web page. Now sometimes it might be a case that the XPath which you have created returns multiple web elements. Then how to handle those cases? If you see over here, then you can find the list of multiple items. And let's say that you have to create an XPath which returns all these items. So let's see that how can we create the XPath for this? First open the dev tool and inspect the element. So here you can see that these items are listed under UL tag. So I'll start my XPath with UL. Here it returns 11 items from the page. Now to uniquely identify our UL tag, we'll use the attribute ID. After that, paste the value of ID, and you can see that it returned only one element. Now the next thing is to get the list of items. Here we can see that under this UL tag, we have one li tag, which contains one item. But this is not the element which we want. But if we directly use li tag using relative path, then it will return this item as well. So what I'll do now, I'll create the absolute path from here to navigate to this UL tag. And then under this UL tag, we have all the li elements available which we want. So to get the list of those elements, I'll type /li. Here you can see that it returns 31 elements from the web page, which are listed under the UL tag. So this XPath will return the multiple elements. Now let's suppose that you want to fetch the element from the list of elements based on index. Then how can you do that? So to get the element based on index, you can simply put this XPath inside the bracket and then provide the index value like this. Make sure that the XPath index value starts with 1. So to get the first item from the list, you have to use the index value as 1. Similarly, you can get other elements as well by using different index values. Now let's see that how to handle this XPath in the code, which returns multiple web elements. If an XPath returns multiple items, then we have to use the method driver.findElements instead of findElement, because findElements return the list of web elements and then pass the XPath value in by.xpath method. Now, since this method returns the list of web element, so we have to create a list to store the multiple web element. And for that, I will create a list of web element type. Import java.util package to use list. Now to get the number of items from a list, you can use list.size method. So I'll just print the number of items returned from the XPath which we have created. And now to get the each web element from the list, we have to create a loop to get the elements from the list. And to get the value from the list, we can use the list.get method using the index value. Here you can see that it shows that this method will return the value as web element type. Then pass the I in the index value. After that, I'll print the text value of the web element using the element.getText method. Now, if I run the test again, then it should print the list of all items from the web pages. So execution is done. You can see that the total item count returned is 31. And these are the list of items which we got from the web page. Sometimes we want to perform some operation on any specific web element, which was returned as a part of the list of web element. So in that case, you can always add a condition like this. If element.getText is equals to the desired text, let's say mobile in this case, then you can use element.click method or any other method to perform the operation. So this is how you can create a basic XPath and then can use it in the code to get the web elements to perform operations. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe the channel. Also, please don't forget to click on the bell icon. Thank you.